Today, I'm going to be going into the 8 things that I have learned over my vast experiences of being in the knife industry, as a knife manufacturer, as a knife company, and as a knife maker. But before I get into that today, I ask, as always, or at least I try to ask as always, what knives are you carrying? Well, today I have 3 knives. Number 1, I have a Kershaw. This is my Kydex knife right here. This is, I believe, discontinued. Now they make it in a green now. So there are a few things that have been adjusted, and then this is a titanium like bead there. So this is nice because I just use it for my Kydex. Then, as you can probably see, I have 2 knives in my pockets. Then another folder, Cold Steel Voyager. Check this one out. Yes, this blade is made in Taiwan. Not a fan of that. However, I know Lynn Thompson. I've seen his test, his whatever you want to call it, on this blade. And you know what? I'm impressed. I believe in their mission. I just wish they would make more stuff in the USA. And then, we want to talk about USA made knives. I have the 2023 shedknives US Tonto in Dayglow G10. This one has really been pulling me in over the past few weeks. Check that sheath out. Done in-house, by the way. People think I send this out. No, this is done in-house. Let me know what you're carrying down in the comments. I would like to know whether it's knives, whether it's pens, whether it's whatever you're carrying. Just let me know your EDC today so we can keep the conversation going. Alright, let's move on to point number 1 of some of the things I learned as being a knife maker. Number 1, things only take time if you allow it. Alright, this is something I notice a lot of knife makers get wrong. They believe everything takes a long time. A lot of your knife makers who are in the Knife Maker Hall of Fame for Blade Show, that's where they have all the awards. A lot of those guys have been making knives their entire lives, which I admire, I respect. I think that's fantastic. I believe some of that, not all of it, but some of that could be learned a lot sooner. And I know for me, I started with that mindset that's going to take forever to learn stuff, but I realized, well, if something is going to take, would you say, 20 hours to learn, I can either do 20 hours in a row of learning, or I can just span that 20 hours over 3 months. It's up to you. But personally, things only take time if you allow it. Number 2, you cannot rush excellence. Now this kind of goes against point number 1, but you cannot rush excellence. Meaning, if I rush making this knife, it's going to not look good. It's not going to be nice looking. So you can't rush excellence. Now you can learn stuff quickly, you can learn stuff in a quality manner, but the actual excellence part, the actual production, you cannot rush that. You cannot cut corners on your actual production. And that's something that I've learned, because I thought, at first, it's all the same no matter what. No. Your machines have a say in what you're doing. They're like an instrument. That's funny. So my dad plays guitar, and he saw a review, a terrible review of a fantastic guitar he just got. And he's reading it, and he's like, yeah, it's a terrible guitar if you don't know how to play it. Same thing with these machines. They're terrible machines if you don't know how to use them. And you can have terrible knives if you don't know how to make them. So, cannot rush excellence. Remember that one. Then number 3, social media is an untapped stream for manufacturers. There's so many knife channels out there already. There's a ton of them, like Neves Knives. I love what they are doing over at Neves Knives. That is a fantastic group. They actually came by at Blade Show, did some videos, and I hope we can do that again. So there are channels like that who are absolutely exploding and growing, and just, it's awesome. But name a knife manufacturer who is posting daily on YouTube, who's posting daily on Instagram, who's getting a ton of just substance out to the end user, to the viewer. Nobody's really doing that. I found it is an untapped source for manufacturers. It's been tapped into quite heavily by end users, by reviewers, by those people, even by dealers. But the dealers don't make the knives. The manufacturers, though, haven't really tapped into it. Is there a need for manufacturers to do that? I don't know. Some it might work really well, some it might not work, but personally, that's something I've learned. 4, knife manufacturing is the hardest of all industries. And it is not because of the actual knife making, it is more the making. I could be making medical equipment, it would still be the same. I still have to find my raw materials, still have to sell to a distributor, a dealer, an end user, or sometimes manufacturer to end user. Like if you buy through shedknives.com, that's manufacturer to end user. I would still have to do that same process even if I was a medical equipment maker. Just manufacturing is very tough. You hear, for any of you business people out there, I know you are aware of the drop shipping craze. Well, drop shipping, you can work on drop shipping from a coffee shop. It's pretty tough to make a knife in a coffee shop without being kicked out within the first button turning on of your machine. They probably won't even let you bring one in there. But a laptop, your drop shipping knives, which by the way, I do allow drop shippers, send me an email, sales@shedknives.com, where you can drop ship blades from a coffee shop. But anyways, you can do that on your computer. That's difficult, but it's not as difficult, you know? Now, I am thankful for all that I have learned through manufacturing. I've really learned, like, just how the world works through manufacturing. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm not complaining about it. And if I truly was not into manufacturing, I would just pick something else. And I believe people need to take on that perspective. I hear people sometimes, oh, my life is miserable. Oh, this is terrible. I truly don't want to do this. Okay, don't do it then. Leave. Get out. Now, can everyone do that? Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Some situations are different. A lot of it is income related. If you have a family of 5 and you're the only income earner, you can't just drop your job one day. But you can at least make improvements to change. Whether it's looking for a job while you're in one, or whatever you need to do, you can change. Don't worry, you're not stuck in the same place. So I've had similar situations where I think I am just stuck, until I kind of zoom out a little bit and I'm like, oh, no I'm not. I can just pivot. I can move over here. You don't need to make total changes. Just pivot. Pivot. That's all you're doing. And I have figured out how to pivot quite well through knife manufacturing. Next, point 5. I keep losing count. I didn't count these things out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. I gotta remember that. Number 5. A strong base of end users keeps you going. That is an important one. I have met so many powerful end users. Powerful as in like the conversations we have and the interactions, and they carry my knives and they own my knives and they comment and they engage and all these amazing things. They send me messages, they send me photos. It's fantastic. It's amazing, and I'm kind of lost for words right now, because it's like at some point I was just some dude on my couch drawing knives, and now there's a whole mission related to knives, and not even to knives, just bettering ourselves, bettering the community, bettering each other. Okay, and I think it's fantastic when especially in person, when I find people in person, or they find me sometimes in person, and they're like, dude, you're Shed Knives. And I'm like, yes, matter of fact, I am Shed Knives. And I'll tell you a quick story on that one. There was a guy at Blade Show. I was handing out like tickets for one of the giveaways we were doing at Blade Show Atlanta, and handing out tickets, and this guy comes up and he's like, you're Jack Billings Shed Knives. Or he didn't even say that. He's like, you're the guy on YouTube. I was like, yes. Matter of fact, I am the guy on YouTube. And I didn't really have a big channel at that point. I don't really have a big channel now, but at the time it was a lot less than today. And what's crazy is, he's like, when I said yes I am, he's like, oh, you're Jack Billings, shedknives. I was like, yes I am, oh my gosh. And so that was the first time someone in person was like, oh my gosh, it's you. So I was very humbled by that. We got a photo together, we talked a bit. I believe he and his wife came by to the booth later on. I see so many people, it was kind of hard to pick out who was who. But anyways, I think he came by, and that was just really, really cool. So if you're watching, thank you very much. That has a special place in my heart and my mind, so thank you. And just in general, folks, just in general, supporting, doesn't even have to be me, supporting other knife users, knife enthusiasts, supporting them, I know they appreciate it. Like, we do these things in the comments where we comment what knives we carry, what our EDC is, and just by commenting, replying to somebody, say, hey man, nice carry, or hey, I've got the same thing, or just a compliment of some sort, or maybe even a question, that can make someone's day. There are some people who genuinely need that, and especially just in the world, how today's world is, there's a lot of people who, just by commenting or replying to someone's comment, that is like, that can make someone's day. So just keep that in mind, guys. Next, number 6, see I remembered, number 6, not everything costs money, but everything costs money. I'm kind of confusing you guys today, so I hope you're paying attention. Alright, for an example, let's do this. Let's use this machine, okay? This machine, because it's sitting right here, costs money. But here's the thing, there are other things that do not, but they kind of do. Like, I have a stand back there. Let me move. That stand, the red one with the blue machine on top of it, that one, it cost money, but it really didn't. Because what I did with that, I had sold knives, which I had to make knives. I traded them. I got a toolbox at a yard sale, and then I traded that toolbox for that stand. So that, it did, but it didn't. And then you have other things where, like this sander, or the rock tumbler back there, that costs money. I had to go to the store and buy that thing. So it's how you work your, I guess, just skills, how you work your skills. Not everything costs money, but everything costs money somehow. Because I started out, this was really how I started out. I didn't have any cash starting out, or at least I have not enough to go do big and crazy things. What I did have was skills. So just use my skills and my knife knowledge to then create stuff with my resources, to then trade, to then now have an opportunity to either have cash or to at least have the resources to make cash. Boom. That's more of a knife business perspective, but you can even use this in your personal lives. Like, maybe Facebook Marketplace is a good one, which I heard that shut down. I don't know if that's real, but I heard there were some issues with it. Anyways, we'll use Facebook Marketplace. Maybe you see something that's a ton of money, you can't afford that. What about a trade? You can trade. There are people on there. I'll take 500 bucks, and I do accept trades. So there's that one. So you can use that one. So just throwing that out. Not everything costs money, but everything costs money. Okay, point number 7. External sources of energy are needed, but choose wisely. For example, to run at the pace I do, I need an external source of energy, because I cannot just create energy from within. But be careful, because, for example, drinking energy drinks every single day to find some type of energy is not helpful. That, I mean, it's temporarily helpful, but long term, not it. So there was a time when, I've mentioned this a little bit before, but when I worked at Rodney Scout Reservation, I would drink so many Monster energy drinks and NOS energy drinks, it was insane. And it was strictly for energy, because I just had no energy, because we worked like 20 hours a day. Now, if I have a drink, it's literally just because I like the flavor of it, it's refreshing. That's literally it for my energy drinks now. Here's where I find my energy. I can find my energy through, number one, getting a good night's rest. That's a really good one, folks. Get a good night's rest. Not a good day's rest. Don't go 20, 30 hours of rest. If you're sleeping 30 hours, get that checked out. But a good night's rest, your food, if you're eating Big Macs all day, sure, it may taste good, but no, you can't be eating Big Macs all day. So you need good food. And also who you surround yourself with. If you have people, imagine this. Imagine if every day you had people, and some of you don't have to imagine, unfortunately. Imagine if you had people who just constantly doubted you all day, every single day. Every interaction was doubt. There's no hope ever for anything. That would really bring you down. That really would. Where if you, let's look at the exact opposite side. If you had a team of people, not one person giving you doubt, but a team of people who kept you going every single day, and they kept themselves going, you all feed off of that energy. They're all like, are we making knives today? Sweet, how many knives are we doing? We're doing 35 in 4 hours. I'm making that up. We're doing 35 in 4 hours, boom, let's get to it. John, you're on G10. Mike, you're on the CNC. Julie, you're on the drill press. Boom, 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 boom. Pow, that's energy. That's like, whoa, yeah, let's go make some knives. Doesn't even have to be knives. It could be selling insurance. It could be mopping the floor. It could be whatever. Having a team surrounding you, that is probably more important than anything else, because you could be eating Big Macs all day, drinking Monster Energies all day, which I don't think there's a problem with any of those things, like those two things. Just in proportion. Have them moderately. It shouldn't be your entire life. But if you're pounding Monster Energy drinks all day and you're eating quarter pounders all day, but you have a team of people like, dude, let's get to it, you're gonna start changing your ways. You're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. Or what is it? You're the sum of the 4 people you hang out with. Really, that's all I'm saying. You're the sum of who you hang out with. Moving on. Let's go to the last one. This is the last one, folks. Okay? Number 8. This may be the most important one so far. And I'm going to take a drink of water. See, there's water. Just kind of splashed out. I'm going to take a drink of water before I do that, so I can be completely ready to go. Energy. Here we go. It is remember why you started. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's knives, whether it's real estate, whether it's family, or a car, or a passion, or a relationship, whatever it is, remember why you started. Because that will either make you continue going, like really just, yeah, I started because if I don't, I'll just whatever. But find your reason. If your reason is just like, well, I just want to make money. Good to start, but not long term. There's not a long term reason. So you just need to know, why did you start? Remember why you started, and try to be humble. Sure, there's opportunities to be arrogant. I mean, I would claim to be one of the least humble people on the planet. I try to be humble. Just sometimes there are moments of arrogance, and you just have to reflect and remember, and I have to reflect and remember. Just remember where you came from. You entered this earth with zero. It's the resources around you. That's all that's changed. You yourself, nothing's changed. Everything around you, you get to dictate how good you want it, how bad you want it. It's you. It's you. That's what's going on, folks. And I remember the long, hot days in that shed, and I also equally remember the long, cold days in that shop. And I'll be honest, I think I remember the hot days a little more. I'll tell the truth, I think I remember the hot days a little more, only because I had to be bundled up as well, because of all the sparks. I didn't want to like die. I didn't want to be lit on fire, so I had to stay covered. But in the winter, you can bundle up as much as you want. Anyways, remember why you started. Never forget that reason. It doesn't matter what it is. So I have never forgot, at least up until this point, I haven't forgotten why I started. And I continue to remember why I started and where I'm headed. That should be another point, by the way. Just remember where you're headed. Think about where you're headed. Know where you're headed. Just know where you came from, know where you are, know where you're going. Those are 3 really good ones to end the video. And I was going about team. I was talking about team a little bit earlier. And I want to open this opportunity for a few things before I end the video. First off, if you think you have what it takes to become part of the Shed Knives movement, on the team to join the Shed Knives staff, here's what I need you to do. Your first email should be to sales@shedknives.com. I'll put that in the description. And what I want you to do, introduce yourself, and then give me bullet point reasons on who you are, what you can do, where you want to be, just whatever. Anything you think would be helpful that kind of gives an insight to who you are, or what you're about, or just anything about you. Give me bullet points. Introduce yourself, bullet points, and then just send it over. And I will get back to you as soon as possible. I get a ton of emails. I will get back to you as soon as possible because there's always something to do. Doesn't matter if it's in the shop or outside, because I'll be honest, there's a lot of things to do from the computer, from online, from at home, wherever you want to do. I mentioned the coffee shop earlier. You could do a ton of Shed Knife stuff from the coffee shop. So if you think you have what it takes, if you're ready for conquest, send me an email and we can go from there. And then the last thing, my friends, knives. Shed Knives does not take any sponsors because I make knives. I stay true to that. I don't go deviating to find the best camp stove yet for $99.99. No, I don't do any of that stuff. I get plenty of emails about it though, but I don't, because knives. I make knives, I sell knives. If you want one for yourself, I have the last batch of the 2023 models available, and if this video blows up later on, then just go to shedknives.com and check to see what knives are available. Because every year, I come out with a new line of improved models, and they're starting to go up in value, which is crazy. And anyways, check it out. Go to shedknives.com. If you enjoyed this video and you know someone who may find value in it, I encourage you to hit the share button. Like the video if you liked it, disliked it if you didn't. I don't care. Just let me know what you think. And I think that brings us to the end. Did I say subscribe? I think it's obvious by now. But anyways, my name is Jack. I like knives. I like knives. Haha, that's not what I usually say. My name's Jack. I make knives, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, folks.